and today we're going to do some basic pen testing. First thing we do is check these settings in the Oracle Manager. So each VM, we're checking for bridged, the promiscuous mode, allow all, that allow us to do wireshark with our VMs. And then under advanced, bidirectional. So I'm going to use a Windows 10 and a Kali machine. Check the network again, bridged, allow all. Let's double check IPs. 121, 121. ipconfig all, and 175 is our VM. And then Windows machine. Not the virtual box. So it's 166. All right. So go ahead and do your updates for Kali. So sudo apt update the -y for the answer yes. And then upgrade to apply. So mine's up to date. We're going to go ahead and install ipcalc. And once it's installed, we can just go ahead. Remember, Control-Shift-V to paste in a VM. So then you can see your 29-bit mask is the 29. And then if you want to see it kind of move, you go to 28. And now we have 4 zeros instead of 3. So it's a nice tool if you're in an environment and you need to check some things or competition. All right, so let's do our nmap on the Kali. Clear this up. So nmap is a scanning tool that goes out and asks questions. In this one, we just asked it what ports are open. If we wanted to do operating system -O, notice it turns green when it accepts the command or the syntax. Oh, so it's telling me I got to be in sudo. And it's saying too many fingerprints. Let's try to do the Windows machine real quick while we're here. 175, or the VM, I should say. So 175 is the VM. It's a Windows 11. Scanning takes time. So you look through all this. It knows it's a virtual box. And here's your fingerprint. Clear this up. Remember, we had no open ports. So 1,000, remember 1,023 is well-known ports, 1,024 and up are the ones we can use for other things. All right, so now let's go ahead and ping from the VM. Clear doesn't work in VM. Ping 10.10.124.121. Now, before I do that, let's run wireshark. Yeah, I didn't do sudo, so it's not going to run. Let's go back and do sudo. So if yours tries to open, it don't run, that's why. All right, so we're going to click the Ethernet. And then I want to always filter my traffic. ICMP, notice it's green. So I apply it. And then let's ping it -n 50. Number 50, so hit 50. So then you're going to see the pings come through. And then if you follow, right click on any of the packets and follow. There's no information in these because it's just, are you there? Ping. All right, so Control C can cancel that. All right, it'll just keep running there. What's our next activity? All right, so what we want to do is at this point start SSH. All right, so we're done filtering on that. Let's put in SSH for right now. So it's green, so we're filtering that. We need to do terminal. So start the service, sudo service SSH start. Then let's run our nmap command. So what we've done now is open port 22. So I'm going to run putty, and we're going to wireshark this event and see if we can see raw data or encrypted. Now notice I have my port 22 here in my putty session and also on my Kali. 10.10.124.121. SSH open. Key exchange is unavailable. So I don't have a new version of putty. So let's close that out. See if I can just SSH in this way. SSH -L Kali 10.10.124.121. Yes. Password 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so I'm in. So I can start moving around, doing other things. And then looking over here, what we're looking for is Diffie-Hellman on this exchange right here. So this Diffie-Hellman is your encryption. So if we right click, go to follow the stream, you have readable, and then this is your username and password down through here. So it's unreadable, encrypted. All right. So now what we need to do is start the service wire, or we want to do sudo service xrdp start. All right, so we're probably going to go filter remote desktop xrdp. So there's RDP. So sudo service xrdp start. Oh, we didn't have to install it. Okay, so we'll install services sudo apt install xrdp. Yes. So xrdp is remote desktop. So now if we do nmap, we should expect another port open. And so we can see we've done a Microsoft WTP server using 3389. So we can wireshark this event. All right, so we'll just leave the filter alone. Let's go to our VM, or you could do your physical machine. So there's your remote desktop connection, IP of 124.121. So now it's telling me, oh, we're going to do something here with this encryption. I'm going to accept, and then I'm going to do Cali, and then put in CYVER 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 exclamation point. Login failure. Okay. The reason we're login failure is because we have to add user. So here's where we're adding user right here. All right. So let's go. Let's see if we got RDP protocol. So there's RDP. There's your server encryption. So if we follow it, once again, unreadable. There's some readable, but mostly unreadable towards the bottom. So there's your encryption process that we can actually see and prove. All right, so sudo add user RDP. Remember, they're not showing you how many characters in your password. Just type it and press enter. The next thing we have to do is we have to make it a root privilege all. So we want to do sudo vi sudo. Now it's blue. Your mouse does not work in here, so you have to use arrow key. So if I'm just see the mouse or the cursor moving, I'm using the arrow down. Page down works, end works. The caret is control. Okay, that is where we want to be. But we just really want to copy this. So RDP tab all equal all colon. All right, now down here you see the caret is control key. So control X exits. You want to write out control O. And then here is your, it's saying, here's your file name, sudoers temp, it's what we were editing. And then you should get a wrote 54 lines. So control X will get you out. So now if we go back in, try RDP, I'm actually in a remote, in a VM, in a remote desktop session. So from a VM, I remoted into another VM, which I think is pretty cool. And then if we go back to our Wireshark again, we look for that exchange. So here's all the exchanges. So there's security exchange again, stream, and it's not really readable. Any readable is not going to make much sense, like admin and desktop. That's of my PCs. All right. Let's get out of there. Now let's start some different services in couple different ways. I'll put this in the right order. So I'm down here. Okay. So let's start the Apache service. Sudo service. And then apache2. Do nmap. So we have now port 80 open and another port TCP. We could look that up. We are now web hosting. So if we put it on, if we do browser in our VM, put in the IP of the VM, quickly you have a page. So you can actually go and edit this page. It's under a file. We're not going to get in this class. All right, so let's stop the service and then do a Python script. It's built in for a server. So sudo service stop. Okay, now nmap again. All right, so if we go back and compare, we should be able to conclude that port 80 and port 9876 are a part of the server. All right, let's clear. Wrong screen. All right. So this time we're going to set let the script in Python do it. So this is going to have to run through port 8080. So now it's actually listening. So we refresh here, we get an error. But if we had the colon 8080, then you get the web page. Oh my goodness, look at this. I've exposed the desktop. So if I throw a file in here, new document, fresh, there's new file. So I'm actually accessing things from that web server. So if you want to, and then look at what's happening here, you're getting your push, your get and the pull gets, your get in your from your server to the web server. And then there's a third way. Next video, we'll go into installing something else. But those are the two quick ways to start a server up. And then what you can do is host a bunch of files on there, use that computer for a period of time. Oh, we should wireshark the HTTP. Go back in. Now let's do HTTP. And let's go back to the web page. Hit back. Click on the page. All right, it went down. So wireshark that on your own. So we'll conclude the video and I will see you next class.